I'm talking to you, and we're gonna make phone calls, and we're not going to rest at all. As you probably know, the turnout is not very good. Right now, it's around 17%. We were hoping it would be more like 40% by the time we're done. It looks like it's going to be in the low to mid 30s by the time we're done. And that's sad. That means that apathy won.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sad about that too. It just doesn't feel patriotic even that people aren't stepping up, making the effort.
No, I agree, and it goes beyond any ideology. You know, I wish people would participate in the process and inform themselves. And if there's only a third of the people that are voting, that's really not happening, and that's just really unfortunate, because that's the whole reason we fight so hard, is to protect our democracy and our institutions.
Yeah.
Particularly thinking about all who serve in the military to keep our nation free and to keep our democracy alive. And anyway, that's not why we're talking, but it's all good. It's nice to see you.
It's a good background for what we're talking about, because it's so much of a systemic problem, and there's so many issues that kind of revolve around the same matter of people making our democracy work for us the way it's supposed to. And yeah, so I know you're doing your best, and I love how you reach out to both sides of issues and try to create a consensus. And it must be quite a struggle just to try to even attempt to find consensus. But my experience with you and the task force has been very impressive, and so glad that you're in that position, as opposed to people like Daryl Issa, who used to feel like every meeting was a confrontation, and here you not only listen to us, but you hear us and try your best to cover our interest and other people's interests at the same time. So I don't expect to see,
but it's the job title and the job description are one and the same, right? Representative means you actually have to listen to people across the board, try to incorporate their feedback, and try to come up with the best decision you can that you think is reflective of a consensus in the community, while also maintaining your values and what brought you to the job. And in this case, the desire to combat climate change and to deal with very sensitive environmental issues on the local level are all really front of mind for me. Yeah. But I am encouraged. It's the issue of spent nuclear fuel, as you know, it's extraordinarily complex. It's not something that you can solve overnight, but we've made a great deal of progress in the last 3+ years. And I know that if we keep it up, things will continue to move in a positive direction. And we now are engaged in a way that we've never been in this district before. I'm not sure if you saw the most recent letter that I sent regarding the hot cell.
I did, and I was very pleased with that.
Good.
It's such a tough subject to get people to understand, and you've created a starting point. At least the conversation with the NRC is crucial.
Well, it's about just building relationships of trust and confidence over time, both with NRC and DOE. By the way, it's the same thing we have to do with the Army Corps of Engineers. It's the reason we've now had some success with our coastal infrastructure efforts after many years of not having any sort of success. And it really, I think, is reflective of where I've decided to prioritize my time. As you know, there are only so many hours in the day. And I think there are a lot of my colleagues in Washington, unfortunately, that go there to be a show horse rather than a workhorse. Mm-hmm. And they're more concerned by how many retweets and cable news media appearances they have, as opposed to how many bills they got passed or how much productive work actually was done. And so I just take a different approach. And I hope at the end of the day, people will acknowledge, recognize the progress and understand that there's a clear and compelling difference. You know, I am running against people that have very limited knowledge or understanding with regard to spent nuclear fuel. They haven't really been on the ground when it comes to San Onofre. The exception being Lisa Bartlett, who has, in her capacity as the Orange County supervisor, at least made the issue a priority for her office and has participated to a degree in our task force and also in the group that was brought about by Edison, that's Solutions Group, where she and Jim Desmond, who's a Republican from San Diego County, have co-chaired that effort. All that's been okay. I think the real difference is that when I started, I sat down, and you may have been there, I forget. I was with a group very early, and we went to go and meet with Edison, and we were there with Pedro Pizarro, who's the president of Edison International, president of the parent company. And I like and respect Pedro. He's a very smart guy. But I told him, you know, I don't represent the interests of the utility in Congress. I represent the interests of my constituents. And I think that's the clear difference. I'm not just going to do his bid. I'm not just going to listen to what Edison's perspective is without getting the informed perspective from constituents. And so that's why the task force started, because we didn't think the CEP was independent in its consideration of the issues at SONGS. I have a great deal of respect for David Victor. I can talk chairman of that group. I think David is a really sharp guy. I just think inherently having a group that was started by the utility, it's kind of hard to have a objective perspective on things. So I think we've been very successful, and I'm grateful to you, Gary, and I'm grateful to everybody that's participated on the task force over the last 3+ years. And, you know, we're really just getting started. It's going to take time, and I'm grateful for your support.
Well, thank you very much. I'm grateful for your service, and the fact that we're recognizing the problem and trying to understand the timing around things like the hot cell are so critical to my thinking and the people that listen to what we're trying to propose, at least with the hot cell. And there's going to be a time delay between when we can get it approved and actually built and need the thing. Could be at least a decade. And by then we're overlapping on the time where these canisters really have a chance of failing and leaving us with no recourse, no contingency plan at all. So I'm so grateful for that last letter, especially. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate the other legislation you're getting approved. And I'm sure people can see things they like or don't like about little parts of it, but in general, I'm pleased and impressed, and can't wait for you to get reelected.
Well, I appreciate that, my friend. I'm grateful for your support, and you know, all I would offer is that it's going to be a tough election. I think that whoever it is, and we don't know, your guess is as good as mine. We'll find out. We'll find out this coming week. But whoever it is, we'll be ready. But it's going to be tough. And the other thing I would say is that right now the turnout is very low, and we need to do everything humanly possible to get more people out there, and or people to turn in their ballot. So if you know anybody in San Clemente, as you see them between now and Tuesday, you see them in the grocery store or wherever, at the beach, doesn't matter. Just say, hey, vote, gotta vote.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's a really easy ballot. I mean, this thing takes 5 minutes. People can do it.
Well, I'll remind them of that, and I'll remind them of the progress we've made under your watch, and how important it is to continue this work, not just for the next election cycle, but continuously through completion. And you know, I won't rest easy till we do have a hot cell, which sounds a little unbelievable at this point, how much there is to overcome in that regard. But I
think you should just keep growing the beard until we've gotten it done.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's cool, man. I love it.
Thanks. I'm having fun with it too. So who
All
knows?
right,
Next time
man.
you talk
Great
to
to
me,
see
I
you.
might just have a buzz.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
Thank you, Gary. It's great to see you.
you're very welcome, and thank you. We'll get the word out, get the vote out, and best wishes to you and your family through all this
Thank you.
struggle. And hope you get a nice little rest before you go back to work after the election.